Here's your wrestling news for October 6, 2021. And your headlines for today include WWE dropped New Day plans for 2021 draft, WWE's original plan for Street Profits breakup, WWE's current interest in bringing back Braun Strowman, shares update on next move after WWE release, Roman Reigns likely next challengers for WWE Universal title, spoiler on WWE's plan for Sasha Banks after draft, WWE's usage of profanity on main roster programming, Goldberg dragged for saying he will kill Bobby Lashley, Parker Boudreaux debuts on WWE NXT 2.0 as Harland with new look, man behind the look revealed, WWE's plan for Finn Balor's next opponents revealed, AEW stars mock WWE's plans with Adam Cole's main roster run, Peyton Royce asked WWE to send her back to NXT before they released her, and more. We are kicking off today with the 2021 draft as once again the New Day were sent to different brands. While WWE Champion Big E will remain on Raw, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods were drafted to SmackDown, but the company nearly made fans wait even longer to see this split. We previously reported that the original plan for the draft was for Bobby Lashley to be Raw's first draft pick, but in an update from PW Insider, it said that Big E wasn't even meant to be eligible to be picked until night 2 of the draft. The idea behind this is that Kofi and Woods would be drafted on night 1, and fans would want to tune in to Raw to see if Big E followed his New Day brothers to SmackDown. In the end, WWE scrapped this plan in favor of having Big E be Raw's first draft pick, as the company never had any intention of keeping the New Day on the same brand. Perhaps one day the trio will be able to stay on the same brand for more than a few weeks, but for now, the reigning WWE Champion will once again be working on his own. Not every team was split during the draft, as the Street Profits were both sent to Raw, but only after WWE considered splitting that team up as well. Given how popular the Profits have been, it makes sense that WWE kept Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins together, but now we know more about the split that almost was. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer revealed that Dawkins was meant to stay on SmackDown, but Ford was always going to move to Raw, as his wife Bianca Belair was drafted to the Red brand on night 1. Meltzer also noted that WWE completely undid their women's tag team division, splitting every team other than the women's tag team champions. Thankfully for the Profits, they were kept together, and though Vince McMahon may split Ford and Dawkins up down the line, the pair remain a popular tag team act that fans will get to see each week on Raw. In June this year, WWE released Braun Strowman from his $1.2 million per year contract, all in the name of ongoing budget cuts. Since then, it's been rumored that Strowman is set to join Impact Wrestling and will reportedly debut as Titan at Bound for Glory, but it's also reported that AEW have spoken to the Monster Among Men. As a former Universal Champion and high-profile name from WWE, it's hardly surprising there's a lot of interest in Braun, but that isn't the case with WWE. When Ringside News asked a member of WWE's creative team about the rumors of Strowman coming back, they were told that if any offer was made by WWE to Braun, he'd be back immediately. That obviously hasn't happened, and that's because, as the source puts it, there's been no offer and there is no interest in bringing back the former superstar. Since his release, Strowman has had just one match, defeating EC3 at the recent Free the Narrative 2 event, and wherever he shows up next, WWE isn't wanting to bring the monster back. Strowman won't be back in WWE and hasn't appeared anywhere other than EC3's Free the Narrative 2, but we won't be waiting long to see what he does next. During a brief Twitter AMA, a fan said they miss seeing the Monster Among Men in action, and Strowman said that he's, quote, making up my mind soon. If the reports of him joining Impact at Bound for Glory are true, then Strowman will be back on TV in just 17 days. But even if the Impact move doesn't happen, it sounds like the former superstar is getting ever closer to joining a company. More draft news as several top stars were moved between Raw and SmackDown, but this has led to a serious lack of big names for the Blue brand. On his show, Dave Meltzer discussed Universal Champion Roman Reigns and how, due to the draft, SmackDown is also lacking in top-level babyface challengers for the Tribal Chief. Sure, SmackDown now has Drew McIntyre, but after him, the show's next level of faces is King Shinsuke Nakamura, who already holds a title, and Jeff Hardy, whose booking in recent months has only hurt his chances of once again becoming a world champion. Meltzer added that there are heels for Reigns to face, such as Sheamus and Happy Corbin, but that'd make for a heel versus heel feud, which rarely goes over well with audiences. There's always the chance that Reigns isn't the Universal Champion by the time the draft results come into effect, as he'll defend his title against Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel, but if the head of the table leaves Saudi Arabia as champion, WWE will have to think of some way to build up more babyfaces for him. The 2021 draft saw SmackDown reclaim Sasha Banks, who will stay on the blue brand, but with a possible change of character. On his show, Dave Meltzer broke down the new WWE rosters, which won't go into effect until October 22nd, but unless something changes dramatically, the Boss could be a full-fledged babyface from now on. There is no top women babyface on SmackDown. I'm figuring that Sasha Banks becomes a babyface because the other top two women stars are Charlotte Flair, who absolutely shouldn't be a babyface, and Shayna Baszler, who appears, based on how she's being booked, is not a babyface. SmackDown lost its top babyface when Bianca Belair was drafted to Raw, and it's up to the Boss to fill the shoes of the EST of WWE. Although SmackDown has some female babyfaces such as Shotzi and Toni Storm, neither are on the level of the Boss, and unless WWE plans on pushing Naomi hard very soon, it's Banks who will be carrying the blue brand as their top female face in the coming months. If you've been watching WWE in recent weeks, you'll have noticed an increase in adult language, as dirty jokes and the occasional S-bomb are becoming surprisingly common. This is all in WWE's efforts to score big with the all-important 18 to 49 demographic, but there's a limit in Vince McMahon's PG-rated promotion. That's according to the sources who spoke to Ringside News, who explained that NXT 2.0 and Raw are definitely going to see more profanity, but SmackDown is not getting the same treatment. It's explained that the blue brand has standards and practices, and no, we're not talking about the right to censor ripoff in WCW, but actual standards set by Fox which prevent SmackDown from going overboard with colorful language. SmackDown can get away with some off-color comments, like Roman Reigns' dig at John Cena being like missionary position, but this line was definitely a rarity for Fox. Given that most promos are still tightly scripted, fans shouldn't expect to hear profanity from every star every week, and in the case of WWE's blue brand, the only S-word fans will be hearing is SmackDown. One person who's been enjoying the relaxed rules is Bill Goldberg, who's looking to end Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel. In his promos ahead of their upcoming no-holds-barred match, Goldberg has said that he's going to kill and murder the Almighty in Saudi Arabia, words that are typically banned from WWE broadcasts. Although hearing Goldberg use such violent terms has been interesting, not everyone is a fan, as during the True Heat Heel podcast, Dutch Mantel dragged the Hall of Famer for saying he'll kill Lashley. He said, "Everybody knows they're not going to kill him. Don't they have laws against killing people? I mean, you could go out there and say, 'I will destroy you,' or 'I will annihilate you,' or 'take you apart,' but murdering people? That's a bad word anyway, and he shouldn't have used it." Goldberg won't actually be murdering Lashley at Crown Jewel, as we doubt the former Universal Champion is willing to go to prison anytime soon, and although his promos have been interesting, they've gone too far for Mantel's liking. Over to NXT 2.0 next, as the colorful brand saw arguably its biggest debut on last night's broadcast. After Joe Gacy defeated and later hugged Ikemen Jiro, he exited the ring happy to have won, but his smile vanished when he saw Harlan staring down at him from the stands. Sporting a new shaved head, many fans didn't realize it was Harlan at first, but it was indeed Parker Boudreaux, who many, including Paul Heyman, have considered the next Brock Lesnar. It looks like Harlan's first NXT TV feud may be with Gacy, although WWE teased that Gacy may try and recruit the 23-year-old superstar. Explaining Harlan's new bald look, PW Torch's Wade Keller has said that Bruce Pritchard thought he looked too much like a babyface, and Parker was asked to shave his head to make him appear more like a monster heel who will decimate opponents, akin to Lesnar in 2002. Harlan gave up college football to join the world of pro wrestling, and we're curious to see what the next Brock Lesnar does after his debut this week. Now, Finn Balor was drafted to Raw this week and hasn't waited long in calling out his first two opponents. In a series of tweets, Balor called out both Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, both of whom were picked by Raw this year. Balor has history with both men, as he defeated Rollins to become the first Universal Champion at SummerSlam 2016, and his history with the Bullet Club and Styles outside of WWE is well known. These tweets aren't just Balor's wishful thinking, as it's been reported that WWE is planning these feuds, and this is just the start of something huge to come. After an impressive tenure in NXT and a strong return to the main roster on SmackDown, Balor is now back on Raw and is hungry to take down the pair of former WWE champions on his road back to the top of the Red brand. AEW news next, as Adam Cole joined the company last month after turning down WWE's offer of a main roster call-up. It's been reported that WWE's plan was for Cole to change his name, cut his hair, and debut as the manager for a heel Keith Lee, which obviously didn't transpire. On the latest being The Elite, AEW's Dark Order joked about the WWE's plans for Cole, as Alex Reynolds asked the former NXT champion to join the Dark Order on the condition that he cuts his hair. Cole has certainly impressed in AEW as he boasts a 3-0 win record, and fans will get to see him, long hair and all, on tonight's Dynamite in 8-man tag team action. More from Raw, as Dana Brooke's night this past Monday didn't go well as she became the latest victim of Shayna Baszler. Not only did Brooke have to deal with the Queen of Spades in the ring, but she had to deal with Corey Graves on commentary, who had some uncalled for remarks about Brooke's career. Saying that Brooke should cut her losses, implying she should leave wrestling, Graves went on to say that the 32-year-old superstar hasn't accomplished much of anything. This led to backlash online, as fans argued that even if she's been losing, Graves shouldn't have buried her by saying Brooke should quit wrestling, and now Dana has also chimed in. In an Instagram story, Brooke said once you entertain a clown, namely Graves, by responding, you become a clown as well. Brooke added that she has no plans on cutting her losses, and Graves, like countless others, can continue to watch her work. On Twitter, the commentator fired off a single middle finger emoji, though it's hard to tell if this is aimed at Brooke or not, but there's no love lost between the Raw commentator and this superstar. And we're ending today with Peyton Royce, who was released this year despite huge plans rumored for her. When the Iconics were split in 2020, it was reportedly because Vince McMahon saw Royce as their next big singles star on the level of Bianca Belair, which didn't happen. Instead, WWE released Royce, and the company wasn't receptive to the Australian's creative ideas, as she told SB Nation recently, "I actually asked to go back to NXT. It was kind of being looked into, is what I was told, and then I got released." WWE's release came just 1 month after Royce's passionate Raw Talk work shoot, where she spoke about her frustration with being overlooked by the company. Instead of the push she was hoping for, this promo was followed by weeks of Royce sitting backstage without anything to do, and who knows if she'd still be in WWE today had WWE granted her a move back to NXT. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.